now. The NBA draft is 5 days away on ESPN and ABC, so it got us thinking about next year's NFL draft. Draft experts Matt Miller and Jordan Reed put out an article on ESPN.com picking their top 5 players at every position, and we called Matt to join us. He wasn't expecting the phone call. Check out the tweet from him yesterday. He said, "I'm going to buzz my head for the summer since I don't have TV scheduled." The very next day, ESPN, "Can you come on NFL Live tomorrow?" And here he is. That nice little tight fade right there, looking really good. Aerodynamic Matt Miller joining us. How you doing, Matt?
Yeah, just, I've been watching the Olympic trials. We've been working in the pool a little bit. Thought, I don't need hair for the summer. I'm not on TV. And then the great producer, Chris Brandon, says, "Hey, what are you doing tomorrow?" So no place I would rather be. I promise in the fall there will be a little more hair up here when you see me again.
Matt, it's just built-in air conditioning, so enjoy it while you can. Trust me before we get to the fall. Here's a look at the teams that have the highest chance to end up with the #1 overall pick in next year's draft. And this is what you've been working on. This is what you do right after the draft in Detroit. You look to next year. ESPN Analytics does not have high expectations for the Patriots this year, giving New England a 22% chance to finish with the worst record in the league. Therefore, they would pick first in the draft. The Panthers right behind them at 21%. So, after offense dominated the first round this spring, it looks like defense will be the storyline in round 1 next year. But, Matt, we all know quarterbacks grab the headlines. Lewis can also shake his head. So who is the top guy in your opinion at this point right now when it comes to quarterbacks?
Yeah, it has to be Carson Beck from Georgia. And interestingly enough, on that FBI, all 4 of those teams have young quarterbacks. So I think next year is that time where we maybe do see a team like the New York Giants or the Las Vegas Raiders try to move up the board to get Carson Beck, who right now is the top quarterback in the class. We saw him play a little bit in 2022, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. Last year, taking the place of Stetson Bennett IV as the starter, really came out hot, 24 touchdowns to just 6 interceptions. But he shows an efficient style of play from within the pocket. He has a very, very good arm. What impresses me the most, he is a fast processor. His ability to see the field as a first-year starter was really unprecedented from what we saw, especially going against SEC defenses. The schedule for Georgia this year is tough. The SEC is much tougher this year. He's going to get a game against Texas. That's going to answer a lot of questions about how well he can handle not only a great secondary, but a great pass rush. So Beck starts the year as that top guy. He's not on level with a Trevor Lawrence or a Caleb Williams as a prospect, but in a really good group of quarterbacks, he does stand out as the best guy.
All right, you got Shedeur Sanders at number 2 on your list. And what stands out when you watch tape of him?
Man, the jump last year from Jackson State, a lower level of competition, to Colorado, you expected some bumps, some acclimation. There was none of that. He came out just throwing missiles from day one. It's the surgical accuracy from Shedeur Sanders. And a lot of folks hear that name. We know he's Deion's son. You think, oh, he's going to be this prolific runner. He's going to be this, huge armed quarterback. That's not his game. He's 6'2", 215 pounds. He carves you up with accuracy, with timing, and he trusts that accuracy to make throws that a lot of college quarterbacks just aren't going to attempt to make. So you do see a lot of off-platform from him because their offensive line was the worst offensive line in college football last year. Their defense was probably the worst defense in college football last year. So he had to play some hero ball, but he showed his toughness, his leadership, and I cannot get over the great accuracy that he shows to all levels of the field. They return almost their entire receiver corps. Xavier Weaver, the only player they lost from last year's class. So he's going to have his guys out there. He's going to have Hunter. He's going to have Horn. So I expect a big year, even a bigger year than what we saw last year from Shedeur Sanders.
And I can't stress enough the toughness. He took so many hits in that backfield trying to extend plays and generate something. Lewis, you've seen Sanders play in person. What did you take away from seeing him live?
Look, his maturity, Kev. Look, I've known his father. I've known Deion since 1992, okay? And him and I sat and we talked about Shedeur twice in the 2 games that we called of Colorado's last year, and just about his maturity and his toughness in the situation that he was in, which, look, Matt is putting it lightly when he said they had the worst offensive line in football. You could have put me out there at 55 years old and just let me stand there, and I could have done better than many of their offensive linemen did. If I was just standing there in a shirt and shorts, it was that bad. They had 0 running game. Their defense, many times, I'm telling you, if you ever went out there to Boulder and watched the football game and you saw Dion standing over there on the sideline, or Coach Prime, as he likes to be called. I still call him Dion. It was just, I mean, he was just losing it because they just didn't have a shot in many games because of the fact that he didn't have enough people to bring along with his boy to make this team a true contender when the going got tough. But Shedeur never blinked. And Matt is exactly right. He is deadly accurate. He is super tough. He has got an NFL arm. He's got an NFL mind. He makes NFL throws. He can throw NFL concepts. And now this year that they will protect him and they will have a running game and they will have the same weapons coming back, I'm telling you, this kid, Dion calls him age for the fact that he acts and plays much older than he is. He's much more mature than his age would suggest. Do not get it twisted. Do not get jaded by the fact that the flash, the symbols, when he puts the watch up and all the, and the cars and the NIL deals and who his dad is. This kid's a baller. He's a baller. And if he has some help, he's going to light college football on fire.
Shedeur is a fantastic talent, and the entire time I'm just trying. How many series can you give us at 55 on an offensive line? 2 series, Lewis? Can you give us 2 series?
Bro, I'll give you 1 play because as soon as the ball snapped, I'm running to the sideline, bro, and I'm done. I'm out of there.
You're tapping out, man.
That's it. Exactly. You know what? I'm over there grabbing them Gatorade water bottles, dude. I'm not up for that stuff.
Yeah,
I'm too old now.